The night was black, utterly, completely black. No moon dared to show its face, not even a single star winked from the oppressive sky. Clouds, thick as ancient curses, smothered everything. They hung like a suffocating blanket, heavy and still. It felt as if the world itself was holding its breath, waiting for something truly terrible to unfold. The silence was a drum, beating a rhythm of pure dread. Then a tear appeared in the fabric of the darkness, a bloody scratch across the velvet black of the cosmos. The crimson comet arrived. It moved in dreadful silence, ominous and vast. It wasn't like any other comet, those pale and distant wanderers. This one throbbed with an angry internal red light. It was a baleful eye staring down at the world below, unblinking, unforgiving, a celestial monster. It blazed a terrifying path across the heavens, a scarlet wound weeping ethereal light upon the land. The unnatural glow painted the unseen clouds below with its hue. They pulsed with a faint, sickening red shimmer. The comet moved with a disturbing, unnatural speed, yet paradoxically it seemed to hang there in the sky forever, a permanent stain upon the night, a brand signifying doom. Whispers started on the cold wind, or perhaps they began in the terrified minds of those who watched. This was no ordinary celestial event. It was clearly an omen, a sign of impending judgment, harsh and final. More specifically, it was a dire warning for the Raven Kingdom. Doom was not just on its way, it had already arrived, announced in fiery, furious crimson across the sky. The Raven Kingdom. It was a place of jagged, cruel peaks and deeply shadowed valleys. Its castles looked like broken teeth against the bruised sky. Their towers pierced the perpetual twilight that clung to the land. True sunlight rarely, if ever, touched these cursed grounds. It was a kingdom seemingly built upon ancient secrets and pervasive fear. Every stone and every wall seemed to weep with ancient, forgotten sorrows. A grim, forsaken place, an eerie, unnerving quiet always hung heavy over Raven's Roost. It was not a peaceful silence, but a watchful one. The wind, when it blew, whispered through desolate, empty courtyards. Shadows danced in every darkened corner, long and grotesquely distorted. You always felt unseen eyes upon you. Unknown things lurked just beyond the edges of your sight. The very air itself was thick with unspoken palpable dread, a constant, chilling companion to all who dwelled there. Holy knights patrolled the crumbling ramparts of the main citadel, or at least they used to be holy a long time ago. Their armor, once gleaming silver, was now irrevocably tarnished, stained with something much darker than simple rust or time. Their eyes held no noble light, only a hollow sense of duty and a deep-seated fear. They served a new, terrible master now, a master who reveled in the deepest darkness. Their sacred vows were broken, their honor, a distant, faded memory. Fear was the true and undisputed ruler in this kingdom. It seeped into the mortar holding the castle walls together. It echoed in the metallic clatter of the knights' heavy boots on stone. Even the ravens, the kingdom's namesake, seemed to caw with a distinct note of raw terror. Everyone moved with extreme caution lest they make a sound. Everyone spoke only in hushed, fearful tones, lest they attract unwanted, dangerous attention, the wrong kind of terrible attention. In the heart of the obsidian castle he sat, the Demon King. He rested upon a massive throne seemingly carved from solidified shadows and polished bones. His true form was vast, mostly lost in the oppressive gloom of the Great Hall. Only his eyes burned with a terrifying infernal light. They were like twin embers glowing malevolently in the deep darkness. He was utter stillness. He was absolute power. He was the undisputed end of all things. A palpable demonic aura pulsed steadily from him. It was a physical thing, not just a feeling. A cold, heavy wave washing over the entire hall. It stole the breath from your lungs without mercy. It made your skin crawl and your teeth ache with a strange pressure. Shadows around his imposing figure seemed to deepen, to writhe like living, tormented things. This was not mere magic or illusion. This was the pure essence of terror. Unadulterated fear given monstrous form. A traitor was dragged violently before the bone throne. It was a knight, his face chalk white with abject terror. His once proud armor was dented and smeared, his spirit utterly broken. He stumbled, pushed relentlessly forward by two grim-faced, silent guards. No words of formal accusation were needed in this court. His heinous crime hung heavy in the air, foul and undeniable. Betrayal, the ultimate, unforgivable sin in this dark, hopeless domain. He barely dared to draw breath. The Demon King stirred on his throne. The sound was like massive stones grinding together. His voice, when it finally came, was not particularly loud. but it filled every single inch of the vast, silent hall. It was cold. It was resonant. Each terrible word was like a shard of razor-sharp ice piercing the silence. Guilty. The single word echoed, bouncing off the stone walls. It sealed the traitor's fate instantly. There was no appeal here, no mercy, only the chilling, absolute finality of his judgment. The Demon King slowly raised one colossal hand, not quickly as if swatting a fly, slowly, deliberately, with infinite menace. Pure darkness began to coalesce around his long, sharp fingers. It formed a writhing tendril blacker than the surrounding, already deep night. It shot forward with blinding speed, almost too fast for the mortal eye to follow. The traitor gasped, a choked, strangled sound, then an awful final silence. He collapsed, a mere puppet with its strings suddenly cut. No blood, just gone. The assembled holy knights stood perfectly rigid. They were like statues carved from solidified fear. None of them dared to move a single muscle. None of them dared to look away from the grim spectacle. Their faces were carefully constructed masks of forced, stony indifference. But their eyes betrayed their true feelings. Flickers of raw horror. A disgusting hint of shameful relief that it wasn't them this time. Shame, perhaps, buried deep within their corrupted souls. They were silent witnesses, and by their silence, accomplices. The Demon King slowly lowered his terrible hand. The tendril of concentrated darkness dissolved back into nothingness. He surveyed the now silent hall. His burning infernal eyes swept over the terrified knights. They lingered for a moment on the space where the fallen traitor had stood. The crimson comet outside still cast its bloody spectral light through the high windows. It painted the ancient stones a ghastly red, a silent cosmic approval of the deed. A grim, unseen satisfaction settled upon his shadowed features. Silence returned to the great dark hall, but it was different now. It was heavier, colder, more profound. The execution was over. The traitor was gone, utterly erased. But the fear remained, stronger than ever. It clung to the faded tapestries on the walls. It settled like a shroud in the layers of dust. Outside, the crimson comet continued its silent, baleful journey across the sky, a constant burning reminder. The Demon King's reign was absolute, and it was terrifying beyond all comprehension.